Hello and welcome back everyone, I am the Otaku, and today I'm going to be comparing first person to third person perspective in Star Wars Battlefront. This video is hopefully going to answer the question that I keep seeing pop up all the time, and that's should I use one over the other, what are the benefits of each? So to answer that question straight up, it depends on the situation. So to help you better understand why, let's go ahead and dig a bit deeper. First of all, for those of you that aren't aware, you can change your perspective in the settings by going to gameplay and then switching 1p to 3p. You can also change it in and out from first to third person while playing the game by holding down the correct button. For console players, this would be the down arrow button on the left side of their pad, and for PC, it is the C button on your keyboard. You can also change your view from left shoulder to right shoulder by simply tapping the button instead of holding it down for a period of time. Then we have to establish this ground rule before we get started, that changing perspective has absolutely no statistical benefits to your weapon or your character. So camera angle doesn't actually change anything other than that, the camera view. However, let me make this very clear. Just because changing your camera doesn't net any statistical benefits, that doesn't mean that each perspective doesn't have its own benefits to you as the player. So let's go ahead and look at the benefits of each perspective one at a time to help you understand. First person view is the standard in most shooter games. Players are going to be very comfortable and experienced when using it if they have played other FPS games before. Then, first-person view is also centered to your mass, which makes it much easier to see where your bullets will shoot from. This means that you should have no problem shooting over, under, or around objects, something that can be really tricky in third-person perspective. Also, when aiming down sights, there is a full scope for many of the blasters, or at the very least some really good magnification effects compared to third person. This will lead to improved vision and better accuracy as a player. Next is third-person view. This perspective, while not the standard for many games, is used by some and for good reason. The best part being is that you have a greater field of vision and therefore better situational awareness because of it. The camera is simply placed further back behind the character and in turn will just show more of the game on the screen, allowing you to understand what's happening on the battlefront a lot better. Third person also gives you much better self-awareness because you can actually see your entire character and how it is positioned. So no more getting shot because part of your shoulder was sticking out and you didn't know. Then, of course, because the field of view and camera position are wider, it allows you to see over objects, around corners, down hallways without actually having to peek out. This leaves the potential for much more stealthy and tactical gameplay because you can see what's happening before you move forward. Then there's one last point I wanted to bring up, which is immersion. Some people will say that first person creates a more immersive experience, where others think that third person can do the same. What this is going to come down to is your perspective, not the in-game one, but your own as a person. You see, people that feel first person is more immersive is because your view in the game is what you imagine the character's eyes are seeing. You are the character. You share the same view, share the same experience, and go through the digital world together as one person. Whereas third person can be just as immersive but from a different view. You are the controller, taking this character that represents your will and adventuring the digital world together instead of as one. Being able to see the whole character at all times and from a different view makes you feel like you are less of that person, but if you are partners and responsible for its well-being. I think a lot of people also don't realize that immersive doesn't necessarily mean lifelike or realistic. It's just defined as deeply involving one's senses and creating in an altered mental state. Both first and third person can create this sense of immersion. It just depends on who's playing, the type of game, what their preferences are, and the biggest factor is probably the actual gameplay experience itself. But do keep in mind that these opinions on the matter are just what I see other people saying and from my own experiences. What you feel and why could be completely different. I just wanted to make sure I brought it up as something that you should be aware of because this could play a big role on your decision. So now that we have covered what benefits each perspective has, let me go ahead and show you why I said it depends. Bringing up the summarized points for each perspective, you can clearly see that 2 of the points for first person favor aiming, especially aiming down sight. then the first point of being more comfortable doesn't actually hold too much weight in my opinion, because you can simply play in third person and get used to it in a matter of hours. As for first person, you will see that 2 of the points help with awareness, both situational and self, with the last point being a pretty big tactical advantage. Based on what we see here, first person is better for aiming, especially down sights, where third person is better for awareness and probably movement, and then the tactical advantage of peeking. As for what one is more immersive and fun, like I said, that's going to be up to you. So given the fact that Battlefront does heavily favor hipfire instead of aiming down sights, there is a lot of moving around and 3-dimensional gameplay that requires great awareness. I would say that third person is the clear winner. Yes, it may take you some time to get used to, but the payoff is worth it. However, like I said, they both have their advantages given the type of situation. So my question to you is, why not just use both? As I mentioned in the beginning, you can switch shoulder views and perspectives with the click of one button. There is no reason why you can't take the advantages of both of them and use them in your gameplay. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, please make sure to give a like and subscribe. I'm very excited, there are going to be tons of great videos to come, but until then, as always, may the Force be with you.